So this is gonna be fun. Hopefully I'm doing this right. Give me 2 seconds to actually test out the audio, because the only way for me to really test out the audio is live. So yeah, I think my audio is not being overtaken by the song in the background, which, by the way, something I love. I love this song tremendously. I don't want to take it down too low, so but right there. You know, that's just gonna work. All right, so hey guys, this is week 31, vlog 20. I am actually halfway to my goal of 40 vlogs this year, so I am extremely excited. I'm hoping that it's not gonna double my sound at all. So yeah, it sounds good, it looks good, so we're going to continue on as if everything's fine and peachy. And I have tremendous, a lot of different news to be able to talk about and record and what have you. Shoot, where do I begin? Okay, so I'm going to first start off by saying, guys, I am not single right now. I am actually taken, which is an awesome feeling for me, not because I just wanted to be taken, but because of who it is. Now, you guys have heard me talk about Bunny and how over the couple of weeks it's just kind of been like, you know, tug and pull and everything else. And I am here to announce that yes, we are officially together, and I am ecstatic. You got no idea how happy I am about this. Like, this is awesome. To me, this is awesome. To me, this is like the best thing since sliced bread. And then they put some peanut butter and jelly on top of it. I mean, it is like, I know people who are single tend to kind of downplay what it kind of means to be in a relationship and what have you, but to kind of know that I'm not, I can actually call like that person, no one belongs to anybody else, but I have a special connection with somebody else, and that somebody else it makes me happy. Just being around Bunny makes me happy. Being around Bunny and Princess makes me happy. So like, that is great. And matter of fact, the past what, like 3 weekends has been great. 3 weekends ago, I think I hung out with Bunny and her parents. The weekend after, I was actually watching Mouse. So during a break period between that, I went down to Bunny's parents' place, and you know, I get my watch right here, like, you know, put a timer on it, and I was down there for 2 hours, and you know, just talk calmly without me feeling like, okay, well, I need to offer something, or I need to do something, or there has to be some kind of exchange. Like, what am I here unless why am I here unless there is some sort of exchange? I didn't feel that kind of pressure. I felt like I don't know how to properly say that and not diss everything else that, like, other people who want me to hang out with them. Not saying that they've ever wanted that, but at the same time, it's kind of like, well, you know, I come over to the place, hey, you guys wanted to see me. Okay, you saw me. Is there anything else you guys need? No? All right, then I'm gonna be heading out. But with Bunny and her family, like not just her mom and her dad, but her grandmother and even uncles, aunts, and nieces or cousins. I'm still learning, the dynamic of family orientations. But like, they all seem to kind of like, oh yeah, it's Nick. Nick's here. Awesome. Like, I'm downplaying it because I'm trying not to sound too excited. But like, it's like a great feeling all around. Like, I definitely love the vibes that I get. I definitely love everything that happens, and like, it's just, I don't know, it just makes me feel all kinds of warm and fuzzy inside. So like, that's great. That is just good things that are happening that I am all about. I'm so ecstatic about, and it just makes me happy on an all-around basis. And oh, sorry, excuse my eyes. I am multitasking the best I can, like the beast that I am. So I'm just hoping that I'm actually doing this streaming thing right. Apparently, since I haven't done this in such a period of time, I just want to make sure that like I'm not, you know, hoyucking things up right now. All right, so that was 3 weekends ago. Last weekend I talked about, you know, seeing Bunny and her family for about 2 hours, and then rushing back here to finish up my shift with taking care of Mouse here. And then last weekend I was able to convince the other nurse to switch days with me. Granted, this kind of means that the other nurse might have a little bit more days than, well, obviously I do, but not really. But like, word on the street was that that particular nurse was not, like, they agreed to it, but then realized, like, okay, well, I'll be doing several straight days then. It was like, okay, well, sorry about that, I'm going. So this past weekend, I helped Bunny. She was actually pet sitting. I would say dog sitting, I would say cat sitting, I would say bird sitting, but pet sitting just seems to make more sense. So she was pet sitting, and I was helping out the best way, like, being as supportive as I can. At the time, being a friend, like, yeah, hey, I'm just here, see what I can do to help out and everything else. And we ended up watching 2 movies, actually. We ended up watching, one of the movies was Men in Black. The other movie was, if you guys haven't seen this, I actually liked it, and I talked to her about, like, some of the studies I did with it. The Invisible Man. To me, it was great, and, like, the idea of, like, how do you fight something that, one, no one else sees, you can't even see, but the threat is real. Or at the very, and everybody else is thinking, like, okay, she believes the threat is real because it is in her head. I have talked to a few people who happen to have been in abusive relationships and what have you, and it feels just like that. Like, from what they described to me, and granted, from second and third hand point of view, like, someone else is telling me about their experience and me empathizing and sympathizing with them. But that idea of terror, that the person who controls me and I'm trying to get away from, I am actively trying to escape, is everywhere. And everybody's telling me that, like, oh no, it's cool, chill. Well, like, all right, you know what? If you guys haven't seen the movie, rent it. Have another friend of yours rent it. You guys watch it. It is definitely worth a watch. Definitely worth checking out. So, me and Bunny watched that, and keep in mind, all right. So we watched Men in Black first, and then we got up, did a few errands and chores, what have you, and then I was like, hey, I got something to tell you. And Bunny was like, okay, what is it? What what do you got to express to me right now? And I was like, look, I've been thinking a lot about this, and I realized I want to say that I care about you. Heck, I want to say that, like, I do love what I know about you. I don't expect you to tell me, but I know that this is what I feel, and for me to hide what I feel is wrong. I'm not gonna try to push on you what I feel. You don't have to say nothing back. You don't have to say nothing back now. You don't have to say nothing back tomorrow. You don't have to say nothing back a year from now. I am just letting you know this is how I truly feel about you. And regardless of what you necessarily feel about that, doesn't necessarily change how I feel. There's this story I read in a book, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, I think. And yes, I read this book when I was incarcerated, so take that for what it is. But there's a story inside this book about a woman who called in on a radio show, and she was like, I take care of my mom. I do the things that the other siblings won't do. I help her out financially, this, that, and whatever. And I tell her I love her all the time, and she seems to always treat me dirty. She always, like, all the other kids are better, and you ain't spit. And she's like, what do I do? And the radio host was like, okay, you have to understand, she is free to feel whatever she wants. With that being said, you are also free to feel however you want. You loving anybody, it shouldn't be conditional. It shouldn't be, I love you because you love me. It should always be, I love you, boom. That's how love should work. People might have different opinions, but this is how I feel. But after reading, I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. You cannot make anybody else happy. You cannot make anybody else love you. But if you love somebody else, that is not conditional. That is not, I love you if you do A, B, and C for me. That's not love. Love is, regardless of how you react to me loving you, I will always just love. I will love my son. Regardless if he ends up being, like, I don't know, a terrorist or like a bad person, I will still love my son. He's not going to grow up to be that way. Understand that. Because I'm going to raise him not to be that way. But, like, that doesn't stop. Even the love that I had for his mother, that love was still, even to this day, something that I always kind of reevaluate in my mind, going like, okay, was it is that love only not existent because she doesn't give it back? I'm like, no, that love is not existent because the person has changed. And because of that, the love has changed to something that isn't love anymore. And that's understandable to see from that point of view. So whenever I told Bunny this, the idea like, okay, well, I feel this way. And you don't have to recuperate. I don't want you to recuperate. I don't want you to know this is how I feel. And she goes, okay, I can respect that. I'm like, cool. So as I'm trying to think about what can I say, what can I not say, because of me, not because of anybody else or anything else like that, but like nothing rated R happened, but it was very much a moment where we both came to a decision like, okay, well, we obviously feel very strong for each other, and we're both terrified about, like, you know, what this might lead to, but let's be terrified together. So, you know, we definitely made it official that we are together, and once again, nothing rated R. Just the idea of two people who actually do feel very strong for each other are together, and that is great. As a matter of fact, I wish. All right, Bunny, if you're watching this, there's something that you wrote on Facebook, and if you're able to write a comment saying that I can read it out loud, I'll read it out loud. Because when I read it, I was like, wow. But if you don't want me to read it, obviously that's okay. Because it is a personal note, granted on Facebook, but like Facebook has people that, you know, families, friends, and loved ones compared to, like, you know, everything. So, but yeah, it was just great, and the fact that like I have found somebody who I do enjoy time with, someone that I look forward to spending time with, and somebody who I don't feel that I have to perform for, so I feel I don't have to do A, B, and C for to win their affection and to help them feel validated themselves, to be able to have that person, and yet it just feels great. It just feels great. And Bunny's parents absolutely make things a lot less stressful. I remember the last relationship I was in, it was a lot of stress. Not necessarily towards me, but just all around eggshells, daily eggshells. And like, I just like the feeling of not having to walk around on eggshells constantly, so that's a great thing. I have a list here of things I do want to talk about. So I came back Monday morning because I heard some things, and I figured that, you know, I might as well, you know, wrap up my help Mouse out to be able to, like, you know, to even out to even things out a little bit. Let me just say it like that. And I go in, I help take care of Mouse for the morning routines and what have you. And Chuck's like, hey, I need a driver, and I need a driver I could depend on. My head, like, what do you need? Like, oh, I need to go down to Oil City. Some things are going on. I'm like, all right, so we drive down to Oil City. In layman's terms, the satellite wasn't working. If the satellite doesn't work, then a lot of different other things do not sync up. So we went up there, took care of little things. Actually, Chuck ended up getting injured a little bit. Not severely. He fell off the ladder while we were trying to relay information to each other from distance. And oh god, like, he was like, Nick virtually had a heart attack. I'm like, I didn't want to come home and be like, well, your husband happens to be in the hospital, and I just didn't want to be the bearer of bad news. I don't know, but I care about Chuck. So obviously the fact that he fell, I was like, oh shit, and I did my best. I came up to him, I'm like, hey, wake up, don't pass out on me. He's like, get off me, man, I just fell off a ladder. Get off me. So, like, you know, but like I said, he's okay. Nothing major. We were able to drive back home, not a problem. So that happened. The Legacy Project. So let me tell you guys. So on Tuesday, let me pull up my notes before I start saying things, because I don't want to misspeak about anything. I want to make sure that if I'm saying something, one, the facts are right, and two, like, I'm saying things correctly. But on Tuesday, I did not have my visitation. Last Tuesday, I had it today, and I had an hour long, and it was great. It was great. He showed me his race car tracks. He showed me his race car tracks. It's virtually what we did the entire hour, and it was great. And like, it was a struggle for me because usually we have half an hour. But we had a whole hour today because of what happened last week, which I'm about to get into. But like, and I realized the whole hour, like I noticed my own signs of like, okay, well, something isn't syncing up right with me. Like when I rotate, like when I was incarcerated, like this rotation thing would be like, okay, something's not right. It's either my diet or something, not like something's mentally super wrong with me, but if this happens to be a regular thing, it means like, okay, well, I need to start evaluating what's happening up here and especially in my body. So like, you know, I realized that was happening around like the 40-45 minute mark. I'm like, okay, I gotta pull myself together. Hey buddy, like, you know, like I'm still trying to be dad through the video call, but at the same time going like, okay, well, I need to figure out how to stop this, because when I can stop myself, but then it's kind of like telling somebody to stop, like someone who has like the impulsive blinking thing to stop blinking. So like, it's kind of like, oh, okay. And I think it's just like, I needed water or I needed something to drink, and I just finished, just finished. Sorry, my brother's missing me saying that. You want to know, we can play Code Vein. I might have to make a note about that, right? Right here. Busy. All right. Okay, so I made a note to talk about that. But like, it was still good because I was able to kind of like, all right, come together, even just for like 10 minutes, and then afterwards we could figure out how to make sure, one, the rotating thing doesn't happen again. As I'm trying to like go back to Tuesday. Okay, so on Tuesday, his mother happened to actually be working on that day, and because of her working, she wasn't able to actually handle the phone for him to have visitation. However, I do not know. Sorry about that, guys. Apparently, if I if I check out a messenger on my computer, it goes, "You're sending out too much stuff. Shut it down." All right, so Tuesday, she happened to work and wasn't able to come back fast enough to be able to handle the phone to have visitation, which is fine, understandable. I get that. I just wish that, you know, it was something that I was informed of prior, not like an hour, like not close to an hour afterwards. But she said she wanted to talk on Wednesday, and what we ended up talking about was potential future supervised visits. Now I know a lot of people are like, oh, supervised visits, maybe something's wrong. Why do you guys have supervised visits? Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell you why she wants supervised visits. I'm going to tell you why I want supervised visits. From my understanding why she wants supervised visits. My understanding of why she wants supervised visits, the situation in 2014 that got me incarcerated. She's worried about my own mental state of that. Granted, not knowing my achievements, my recovery, my accomplishments, the things that I've done, like, and I make all those things publicly known, that I take classes. I took anger management class, not only because it was required of me, but I took extra classes because I'm like, I want to know more in case I get angry again in the future. How do I control that? How do I control being completely depressed and feeling completely broken down from the news that I got in 2014? I was like, okay, well, I need to make sure that nothing like that, like the world has to end, and I have to be able to keep my shit together, more or less. So, you know, that's just something that I've been more or less trying to work on. Sorry, hair in my nose is the worst feeling in the world. I have no questions. Hold on. Izzy, Nicolas, my baby sister, nice enough to give me the flushable wipes, because up here in the tower, where it's sometimes like 100 degrees, I sweat and I feel grimy, and it's like a nice wipe off. So there's that. As gross as I was, I apologize for anybody got that. Oh well. All right, so but since that incident, 2014, she's like, I just feel very, you know, cautious, and I feel that you need to be supervised. I'm like, okay, I can understand where you're coming from. Granted, apparently, you know, the parenting program, the anger management, the therapy, and a specialist, and all the other good references I've had over the years must mean nothing. That's fine. Not your job to validate my actions. If this is what I need to do to be able to see my son, let's go at it. That's what I believe she wants. Like, she believes it's something that's court order. She believes that this is something that will make her feel better. Sure, let's do it. Let's make that happen, because at the end of that road is my son, and I'll go, and I will get there. It's gonna be kind of hard for me, but I'll get there. And for those of you guys who know about, that particular project that I'm working on, that involves me seeing my son, the agencies, the organizations, the processes, and everything else, and make sure that everything is not only on the up and up, but that everything is documented is on the up and up. So it's not like if we ever have to go in front of a judge and certain things are said, I'm like, oh, let's pull up this piece of information and this piece of information. I want to make sure all my ducks are in. So she has her concerns. I can understand that, and I will play ball. My concern, not my concern, why I am okay with supervised visitation is because it's been 6 years since he's seen me face to face. Now, we do video calls twice a week, every week, except for obviously last week. Which I'm only on Wednesday, so give me another time. But we've been seeing each other through video calls for the past 2.5 years, close to 3 years now. But I do know being able to see somebody on your TV screen or your tablet or your phone is completely different than seeing them in real life. I want to be able to allow the transition to be as smooth as possible, especially with my son's special needs. I do not want to overload him. I do not want to push too much on him too fast. And if somebody else who has the expertise to be able to say, hey, draw that back a little bit, let's try to do this instead of that, I'd much rather have that help than not have the help. And I know you guys are going to be able to, okay, that makes sense. Good, because it makes sense to me too. So look, that's what I'm okay with supervised visitation, at least for a few months. But at least I will see my son this year. At least that's my goal. That is my goal this year, to be able to see my son. And if his mother is on board with that, then kudos, 110 points, Yahtzee, let's do it. Woohoo. I'm all about that. So that's the Legacy Project as of right now. As I am trying to... Okay, streams work, recording work, okay. I'm looking at my notifications to make sure that everything's still up and up. Okay. Alright, so the next thing I want to bring up is that I'm beginning to feel that I'm some kind of special commodity. That's not a horrible thing. It's not a horrible thing. Oh, wait, before I get that far, do I still have that up here? I better still have that up here. Okay, so this necklace that I have on my neck. Now, this necklace, the necklace itself, has been on my neck since 2015, 16, given to me by an ex-girlfriend of mine who I will call Angel. And she'll know who she is when she hears it. But she gave me this necklace, and she gave me this necklace with a Superman in insomnia on it, because of how what I try to do in my life. Two, I actually, I kind of, think Superman's a decent, cool hero. Just saying. And three, because of the story I told her about when I was in college. That honestly is for another day. I don't got time for that. But something happened, and that video is, you're gonna have to go way back. You might see it here, maybe, or I might put it in the description. I don't know. But there was a situation that happened, and I lost the insomnia right here. I found it last week, but I lost this emblem for about maybe a good year and a half, and I was kind of like, ooh. So I bought another one right here, and I bought a duplicate one. Hold on. My desk is too messy. It's too messy. I did buy a duplicate one. For my, oh, here it is. It's behind my cell phone holder. A duplicate one for Xavier, my son, whenever I get to see it. So I'm really super excited about that. I'm super psyched about that. So that's gonna be freaking awesome. But finding this again is okay, well, hope never really is lost. And honestly, this last week has been proving it. Anyway, so Wednesday we talked about supervised visits. She also apologized about what happened on Tuesday. That was out of her hands. I completely understand that. I'm not an unreasonable person, all right? So She was even like, look, if you want to have more time, I can give you a whole hour on Thursday. That, you know, I don't have a problem with that to make up for Tuesday. I'm like, oh, that's great. That's great. Thursday comes around, 7 o'clock, 7:15, 7:30, 7:45, nothing. I'm like, we just talked yesterday. We just talked yesterday. You couldn't have forgotten. And even if something came up, we talked about the idea. If something comes up, let me know. I don't mind if stuff comes up. That is life. I understand life more so than most people. Just let me know. So I was heated on Thursday. I was like, woo! So like, I sent messages like, yo, you know, I thought we talked about this. You know, I thought things were, you know, going on the uphill slope. You know, get a hold of me. Let me know what's going on. And then we can talk about it. Like doing my best to kind of keep my cool and not fly off the handles. But I was starting to feel the handles, like, you know, woo! So she messaged me later on that night. She was in an accident. And I felt like a complete jackass. Well, all right, half a jackass. But the accident was hospital needed. But at the same time, it's like, you know, it wasn't like ambulance, you're knocked out, your car blew up, and like someone pulled you out of the, like, that kind of thing. So like, I was like, okay, I understand. I'm not a complete asshole. But shit. Could have let me know in some way, shape, or form. So, like, I wasn't able to see him at all last week. So today, seeing him for a whole hour definitely got me, like, you know, smiles from ear to ear. So, woo! And, like, even though, like, I had the rocking thing, it's still an obstacle that I was able to overcome and get over. And now that I know that, okay, well, the hour issue might not just be him, but it might also be me. I need to figure out how to kind of change that up. I might need to change my diet. I might need to have food like here, or I need to eat something before I have a visitation, or I need to have water here, or something else to drink to be able to keep to keep me balanced. You know, I really do think it's more like a food thing that kind of got me that way today. But like, once again, he didn't even notice, and we still had a good time. He was showing me his cars. We learned today that the word freaking, we know what that word represents for children. Like, you know, oh, well, I think he was showing me like something that looked like a ramp. I'm like, oh, that's a ramp. He's like, this isn't a freaking ramp. His mom was on top of that. He's like, what was that you said? You know that, you know, you're not supposed to be saying that word because that word is representation of another bad word. It just replaces that. You don't need to be saying things like that. And I'm like, she's right. We ain't saying those words no more. We just not. And that moment was that co-parenting of people who aren't together. Like, I love that. I love the idea that for a moment we were co-parenting and not fighting, and we weren't like, we're obviously not together because I'm taken happily. And like, it's being able to parent from two different locations, from two different situations, and being like, okay, yeah, I feel that he doesn't need to be saying freaking. He doesn't need to be saying any kind of words that's, you know, circles around that at all. But like, you know, it is what that is. But I'm gonna try to help enforce that. And later on during the visit, I said the word freaking. I'm like, oh, okay, so I might be the problem. You know what? Because we now know this is not a word that neither of us are accepting. I'm gonna do my best not to say that word. If I do, I'll put hot sauce on my top. I don't know. I'll do something. But like, for my son, I will do because he's my son. For people who are underneath my care, I will do because they're underneath my care. So that happened today. Busy. So that's so I started with that as my guy on the tangent. So I'm a very popular person, it seems, because there's a lot of times I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sit back and relax. I'm gonna do something. My phone rings and someone wants to play a game, or someone wants to hang out. Somebody wants to go, you know, oh, you know, we need you to go take us somewhere, and it's not like a bullshit thing. Like, we need you to be a free taxi. It's like, okay, well, you want to come with us to go do something? It's like, okay, well. And lately I've been seeing that a lot more often. Matter of fact, my brother right now, Tyler, he was like, yo, do you want to still play Code Vein, which is an anime Dark Souls like game that he wants to play with me? I'm like, all right, you know what? I do, but I'm currently, you know, doing a live stream right now. And to do the live stream is kind of really tough because, like, I haven't really been having much of an online presence lately. So, like, I definitely wanted to get this video up. And I know it's Tuesday. I usually try to do these kind of videos on like a Monday or a Sunday, but to do it a Tuesday, obviously Sunday night I wasn't home. I was helping out Bunny and Princess with, well, I was just helping them out, trying to be the best, because I got a title boyfriend. I gotta, like, represent. So did that Sunday. Monday, going down to Oil City, we left around 12, didn't come back home until 8, and I still had all the other shit I need to take care of. I need to make notes. I needed to figure out what meetings I had this week. I had to reply to, like, emails, text messages. I also had to be able to figure out, and this is something that's coming up later on in the video, I had to talk to a police officer. Once again, later on in the video. Second Chance Gaming, me and Hunter. I'm gonna call him Hunter. You guys probably know him as Mr. Cecilia, but Hunter is gonna be what I'm referring to him as, because a lot of things are happening with him. Not last week, the week before that, there was a online event, the Ubisoft Forward, which is where they talk about certain games and all that stuff. And we're like, okay, we're gonna do a little podcast about this. We're gonna, watch the trailer together. We're gonna make comments about the trailer together. And we're gonna talk about the trailer and the hopes and dreams for a lot of the Ubisoft games that are coming out. Some of them being Elite Squad, Far Cry 6, Legion. I think there's like 1 or 2 other games that were part of the event that we did not cover, because we were only really interested in Legion, and kind of interested in Far Cry, but not enough to be able to be like, okay, well, because like there was no real gameplay for Far Cry 6. There was just a trailer, and we would be like, okay, well, that's a cool trailer. Next time, show us some gameplay. But what am I talking about? Oh, so Second Chance Game. Last month I wasn't able to finish the game. Oh, sorry. Last week we did this thing, and I had the video on my computer. Just today, I finished part 1 of like a 3-part video. This week, my personal goal this week is to finish all 3 parts of the video. Another thing I want to finish by August. I don't think I'll be able to finish it by the end of the week. Detroit Become Human. There's a special thing that I found out, and I want to do a video about that. But in the midst of, I was like 2/3 of the way of being done with this video, and while doing something for the video, I realized something else. Not something that I had to I had to scrap what I did, but something like, oh my god, I should add this to the videos. Not like actual, like it was actual material, not like a special effect or whatever. It was actual material that I wanted to add to the video. In order to do that, though, I had to more or less replay a section of the game, and then replay it so many times for that particular scene or for that particular event to occur again. One of the things that's been stopping me for this month is the fact that it needed to be updated. In order to update, I virtually have to leave my computer alone for a long period of time, because I'm at the highest point of the housing structure here. So internet isn't always the best. I'm amazed you guys are able to watch me the entire time. So I don't think I'll be able to finish that this week, but maybe next week. I'm going to try to, my goal this week for that is to download the update, and hopefully have that video, the version 2.0, done by the end of August. Maybe mid-August. I want to shoot for mid-August, but my actual goal is the end of August to have it published, like, made public for you guys to watch. So I'm gonna get about that. My friend BB, another topic right here. She had surgery last week, and BB is one of the people that are so close to me. Her and her entire family have always been helpful and generous and welcoming to me, almost as welcoming as Bunny's family. And for her to have surgery was just kind of like, I put on a strong face. I was like, you know what, BB, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be good. It ain't even nothing. Don't even worry about it. I ended the phone call. I'm like, holy shit, she's going to surgery. Like, oh, the doctors better not mess up. I swear to, because BB just meant so much to me. BB, her daughter, her fiance, her mom, her dad, the kids, they all mean so much to me. So, and it all started with BB. So if something would have happened to BB, it would just be like, it'd be too hard on me. But I didn't want her to see that. So I was just kind of like, you know what? You're going to be fine. We're going to be talking next week. Ain't no thing. It's going to be great. So she's good. She's good now. She had a surgery last week. She is recovering very well, and she's taking it slow. No, she's not. She's just pushing a little bit. I know, because that's how BB is. But like, BB's a mom. You just can't sit back and you just can't fall back just because surgery. I know, it seems crazy, right? But like, you just can't do that. So there's that. I'm glad that she's okay. I talked to another friend last week. I'm gonna call her Ice Queen because she can be cold. She can be cold, but she's actually one of my coolest friends. So we talked about the whole Black Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter, and it wasn't heated. It wasn't heated because I didn't want to lose Ice at all. I didn't want to lose her at all as a friend. And she didn't want to lose me as a friend. So I think we came to the conclusion that if we both understand that, at the very least, that we matter to each other, and the people in our circle of loved ones matter too, well, that's a good start. Now, she isn't like anti-Black Lives Matter. She's pro All Lives Matter. And I understand the idea of like saying All Lives Matter, like, of course all lives matter. The fact that we have to say Black Lives Matter means that at some point along the lines, people were like, Black lives don't matter. We just have to remind them. But she's like, I understand. I do. I'm like, I understand your point of view too. The idea of peace, the idea of coexisting, is not to place blame per se, but in my opinion, to find a way to work together, to come together at some point and make things work. So that's kind of where I'm at when it comes to that. And luckily she was with that. And we even made a joke that what all this is better than No Lives Matter. Like the idea that we're caring for each other because we know who people are, and we give a damn. Give a damn, respect. That's really all. That really is all that matters. So there's that. Here's a story. Who wants a story time? So Monday, not the past Monday. It could have been Monday. It might have been Wednesday. Tuesday night, my friend Phoenix messaged me, and she's like, "Hey, someone was just dropped out on our street. They're like, car door open, booted out, car drove away." I'm like, "Oh, no, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. Not my problem. Not my problem at all." I know that's all the thing for me to say, but it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I was trying to get some sleep. I was trying to get some sleep. The next morning though, she messaged me up at like 8:30. She's like, "Yo, Nick," I'm like, "What's up?" She's like, "Remember that person I told you that got dropped off?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Well, that person she went on a date. Dude drove off with her purse, which had her phone ID and all that other stuff in it." I'm like, okay, that's a sad story. It really is a sad story. Why are you calling me at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning? It's like, well, we tried contacting her friends and none of them are responding. I'm like, okay, is that why you're contacting me at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning to tell me that her friends ain't picking up from a weird, because she doesn't remember her password. I'm like, the more you tell me about this strange girl that popped up on your doorstep, the more I want to just be like, I'm sleeping right now. It's like, this person really, she needs to know something. Like, she needs something good to happen. This dude that she went on a date with just kind of kicked her out of his car and drove off. And I'm like, you know what? It's 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. I've talked too much. I'm awake now. Let me go, clean my face and I'll be down. So I went down. Phoenix got in the car with me because I was always like, I don't know you. I'm not ready for some kind of weird movie stuff to be going on. I just want to drive you to your location, get paid for my services. Hope you have a better experience in the future when you go on dates. But yeah, picked up Phoenix, picked up this girl, drove her down. It was like a 30-minute drive. Dropped her off, came back. Phoenix gave me food, which is usually the best thing whenever I happen to be kind of in a pissy mood. Like, I got food for you. Like, oh, I'm not really that mad anymore. So, like, give me the food. It was steak, cheesy broccoli rice, and stuffing. And it was enough of it for me to be like, I'm gonna have to sit down and have a smoke after work. But yeah, that happened. Last week I also got pulled over by the police. Now, I didn't necessarily, I can't say I didn't do nothing wrong. At the time, I didn't break any laws, and they were not trying to arrest me for something previously that I did. It turns out that I forgot to renew the registration on my car in May. In May. And I'm like, yo, how did I? And then, like, as he's telling me, and as I'm going, how did that flashbacks? I'm like, I got the paperwork, I put it in my inbox for me to address to later. Something happened that other things got piled on top of that inbox. I have yet to still get to that letter, but I saw that it was like, okay, notification of, renew your registration. I'm like, well, officer, I am sorry. Don't tow my car. Like, I took Sue out, I took Josh out, I took Tacoma out. I was currently at the time taking Tyler to work. And I was like, this is my brother. He works up at House Galore. It is literally 3 blocks up that way. Do not take my car. Let us go there, and I will take care of this business as soon as I get home. Knowing in my mind, I have no more money. I don't get paid until this Friday. So I'm like, I'll figure out a way to make it work. I'll figure out a way to take care of this in the next 24 hours. He was like, all right, well, usually we give people 1 month to take care of this, but this is something that should have been taken care of in May. So you take care of this in the next 5 days, it won't be a thing. I'm like, all right, let's take care of it. The next day, took care of it. The payment thing, like, someone helped me out with it. I paid them back, but I need to reimburse. I paid them back using an account that I don't want to use. I call it the legacy fund. Things that, like, if I have extra money, I just put it in there. And it's not like a lot of extra money, like $10, $20, that kind of stuff. And I put in that account, so it's not in my card, so I don't accidentally spend it. So I had to use some of that money to pay for registration, which is like, emergency fund. Like, it's kind of there for what it's needed to be there for. But it was just kind of like, shit. So, took care of that. That happened, Wednesday afternoon, Thursday afternoon? It is now Tuesday. I went up there the next day. Like, so I went up there either Thursday. No, all right. I went up there Thursday. Now I remember. I went up there Thursday, so it happened Wednesday. Which means I also took this girl home. So I took all these other people home. And that was just like that day. Keep in mind, I was driving since May, obviously, not even thinking that this is something that, like, it just didn't occur to me that this is something that I needed to take care of. So I took care of that. I went down to the magistrate and I was like, okay, here is my registration. He said if I brought it down, it'd be taken care of. And the woman behind the counter, behind the glass, was like, we don't do that. I don't know why he would tell you that. But once a ticket is issued, that's it. There's no undoing that unless you want to plead guilty and have some kind of case to, be able to stand on why your registration was out when he pulled you over. And the fact that you had it fixed the next day doesn't mean that he wasn't justified to pull you over. And I'm like, but he said, okay, it doesn't matter what he said, because granted, my brother was there, but I'm pretty sure my brother wasn't paying attention to the things he was saying. He's like, oh shit, there's a cop here. Like, the normal reaction when people get pulled over, like, you know what? So, like, I'm kind of dealing with that. I have until the end of the week to put in a guilty or non-guilty plea. I know if I put in a guilty plea, I'm paying the $140 If I put in a not guilty plea, I have to somehow prove, or at least allow myself to look like an asshole in front of a judge and be like, yeah, Your Honor, that day I didn't have my registration in. That was my fault. There was a lot of different things that happened. Well, first of all, that car is shared. The ownership of that car is shared between me and Big D. Maybe at the time I was like, okay, well, Big D would take care of it. He probably got the same letter, whatever. Didn't even occur to me. I put it in the inbox. I'll address it later, being I would either talk to Big D or end up paying it then. Those things got piled on top of it. Once again, my fault. Not coming up with an excuse. My fault. I will take responsibility if I need to. But if there's a way to get out of it, please let me find that way. So, like, I got until the end of the week to figure that out. 9 and 10. Now I'm saying that out loud, which is very helpful. I'm obviously going to plead not guilty. Trying to be like, okay, I understand when he pulled me over, I didn't have it. That was my fault. I should have been more aware. I wasn't. If I have to pay this, that's fine. He told me if I took care of this within 5 days, And I took care of it the very next day. I have, like, and the woman was nice enough to actually photocopy it. And I hope she filed it rather than file it into the trash cans. But regardless, though, like, it's just a lot of different things happen. I wish I could show you, but that's in the card because I got a warning because it wasn't in, like, the old registration card wasn't in my car because it was in my inbox. So, like, and Tyler didn't have a seatbelt. I had a seatbelt because it's my car, but Tyler didn't have a seatbelt. Granted, he had a seatbelt when the police officer came up to the car, but police officer was like, I saw you do that, but don't do that. Just put on your seatbelt when you get into the car. This is just a warning. He's not getting a ticket for this, but the next time, they're going to have a record of that I gave you a warning, and it's going to be a straight ticket. So make sure whoever gets into your car, whenever anybody gets into your car, it is your responsibility to make sure they have a seatbelt. I'm like, yep. Tyler, seatbelt from now on. Everybody gets into my car, seatbelt, now on. I don't want to put on a seatbelt. It has my boobs. Don't care. Put on a seatbelt. Don't care. Do not care. I don't want a ticket. You can't afford one. I can't afford one. You can't afford to pay me. Regardless, though, that happened and that's happening. So that's going to be something I'm going to have to deal with. And that's the end. Holy crap. There is one more thing. My friend Phoenix, the one I mentioned earlier, she feels that she might have the big C. So for those of you, I use the term Phoenix, you all not gonna know who that is. That's fine. But for all of those who pray, for all those who send out good vibrations or what have you, send out good vibrations to Phoenix. The big C's are scary. And I don't want her. She's been good. I can't even say. She's been an interesting partner. A lot of adventures for Phoenix. So I wouldn't want anybody like that to go to have the big C. So, pray, send good vibes. Do just help me send out good vibes to Phoenix, right? Well, that's all I got. It's been 47 minutes. Actually, no, I looked at the timer of the live video. It's 47 minutes when I talk about whatever it is I'm talking about. The timer somewhere. But I'm gonna go talk to my girlfriend. Oh God, it feels awesome to say that. I'm gonna talk to my girlfriend as I play Code Vein with my brother and possibly make some more notes on the things that are happening this week. This month is almost over, so I still have to do the stuff for hold on. Next month. And I watched this video that Will Smith did with his wife, I believe, Jada P. Smith. I'm gonna just say that because I can't pronounce her middle name right. And it was about fatherhood. And I watched this. Get this. I think I watched this on Thursday. While I was supposed to have visitation, I'm like, I better watch this. It might help me feel better. And it did. It really did. It gave me a deeper insight in what it means to be a father. And I feel that maybe next Father's Day, I'm going to do an actual video on other fathers and be like, okay, well, what does it mean to be a father to you? I might try to do either single dads or dads who are separated from the kids and be like, okay, what does it mean to be a father to you when you kind of, and this is not how I'm going to word it, but like when you have time sharing kids. And it's not how anybody else said it. It's kind of how I sometimes feel like, okay, well, you get on this weekend, I get on that weekend. I'm like, oh, that sounds so bad. And that's never how I can't imagine a parent out there like, I can't wait to have kids. That way I can just push it off on their mom and I can go off and do stuff on weekends. I can't imagine maybe there is. I can't imagine it. Maybe there is. I just can't imagine it. But it was never something that I wanted for myself. I know there are a lot of people out there who didn't want that kind of lifestyle for their children either. They wanted their kids to grow up in one household to know that they can come to both their parents at the same place who share love for them and each other. They wanted that nuclear family. However, obviously with me and my now girlfriend and her daughter, dynamic is different. I actually met Bunny's ex-husband Sunday, which is an interesting experience. Reminds me a lot of my cousin Pooter. But the guy seemed all right. Granted, all the stories that I heard, but he seemed like a pretty all right dude. So I'm gonna judge him based upon my own experience of him. Nothing anybody else has said about him, because that's how I would want to be treated too. I don't want people to go, oh, that's the guy that Xavier's mom used to be married to. Well, actually still married to, but once again, the story for another day. And no, not my fault, and news to me too. But I want people to look at me and go like, okay, well, based upon who he is, not based upon the rumors that I heard or what she said and he said, but based upon my experience with this individual, I have to carry out my behavior with that person based upon that. And lessons learned from hearing things out, like from my own mouth into my own ear. I don't know if I had that being on me because I don't need to hear myself. But yeah, just things I'm hoping that I will be able to work with Bunny's ex-husband to be able to help develop his own child with Bunny. And I'm hoping that the supervised visitations take off, and within a couple months, supervised visitations become just visitations. Whenever they see, like, yeah, you're fine, yeah, you're good, and yeah, you're learning. So that's going to be a plus side for me. Yeah, I think I popped you guys' ear off for damn near an hour. So I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you very much for your time. And I don't know, if I hear from Bunny and she lets me read that thing that she wrote about me, quote unquote, to me, I'll share it next week. Y'all tell me what you think. Thank you guys for watching. For those of you that do. I don't know. Let me know if I'm doing things right. Let me know. Hey, baby. Ooh. She's going to hear that I talked about her. But yeah, let me know what you guys, not what you guys think about my life, but like, you know, show support. That's another thing. Lately, because of, we're working on a new form of integration, mainly because of Bunny and Princess. My speech, granted, this entire video, I did pretty well, but there are certain times where, like, when I'm just talking to regular people, I cannot form simple words. So, why did I say all that? Anyway, write down what you guys, not what you think per se, but write down if you have any kind of suggestions, like, or send good vibes, you know, whatever the case. And I'll see you guys next week, okay? And I'll see you, BB. I'll see you later. And tell everybody I said hi. I love you all. I know my girlfriend's watching too, so hey, baby. And everybody else who wanted to give me the time of day, give me your hour. I appreciate the time you give me. And I'll see you guys hopefully next week. Hopefully Sunday/Monday and not Tuesday, because this is too late. I don't like it doing it too late. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you guys around.